Hi, I'm Morgan Scott and I'm a hospitality and tourism management major, and I'm going to be talking about the issues that occurred when Disneyland was opened and how some of them could or should have been prevented. So, first things first is that I think one of the biggest issues was that Walt and Roy were unaware that a lot of these issues were going on that day. So the park opened on July 17th, and that day Walt Disney was actually off doing a thing for ABC TV, working on a 90 minutes show. And Roy was at the park, which that was a good thing, but he was unaware of what was going on. He was too busy sitting there looking at the smiling faces and how big the crowds were to really realize all the issues. So he should have been more focused on the little details and everything happening rather than just seeing, oh, everybody seems so happy right here in this moment. Another thing that happened the day that the park was open was that a lot of people were climbing fences. I think that this was a big design flaw in the park because, first of all, employees should have been noticing and stopping people from climbing the fences. Second of all, they should have had more security around maybe to keep people from being tempted to do that, or even to have created bigger fencing or a different type of fencing, maybe use a different material that was a lot harder to climb. If you think about it, most of the themed parks, sort of carnival places at that time, did have free entry, and so a lot of rebelling teenagers would be very tempted to try and climb fences to get into a place like Disneyland just so that they could avoid paying, since that's not what the norm was at the time. Another big issue that occurred was that Walt really pushed for it to be open on July 17th. And I think, honestly, with everything that was going on whenever they were designing the park and all the times they had to remake stuff and they were getting behind on their deadlines, I think that they should have pushed the park back another few weeks, months, days, anything like that. Since this was such a big project that Disney bit off, they needed a little bit more preparation than I think they realized. This is a big thing for them to take on, and they probably should have done a mock run, all things considered. Maybe even just with their employees run through everything in the park, or invited some family or something like that and done a mock run, because I think this could have prevented a lot of those issues that happen on the first day. Sometimes bringing an outsider in can bring a new perspective and a new, fresh mind to the project to bring up things that you might not have noticed or got lazy on and skipped over in the first place. Something really big that happened the day that the park opened was that women's heels were sinking in the asphalt. That is not okay. That is something that should not be occurring because, first of all, the company that laid down all the asphalt should have told Disney, hey, look, this is how long it's going to take for it to be completely dry and ready for use. And even if they hadn't said that, it's something that the park should have looked into, or that the Disney should have looked into, because the asphalt is technically the foundation of the park. It's what everybody will be walking on. And the fact that women's heels were sinking into it means that the park truly was not ready to be open on that date. Another big thing that happened was that there was a gas leak in Tomorrowland that Joe Fowler found. Gas leaks typically only happen on old, warped, bit, or broken pipes. A preventative step that Disney could have put in was to have an automatic gas shutoff for whenever any leak happens. It's a thing that a lot of people in California will do because they have earthquakes that can damage the pipes. But Disneyland was just at the opening, so it's something that maybe they hadn't thought would be happening, but it's something that they should have looked into more and been prepared for, since they were going to have a family crowd coming in to the park trying to make them happy and that sort of stuff, because gas is very dangerous, especially when you smell natural gas. It could lead to deaths. But Joe Fowler did handle the situation in a good way. He quickly called the fire department and they blocked off the area and got the gas shut off and prevented a lot of people from getting sick that day, which was a good thing, but it's still something that should not have occurred in the first place. So all in all, really, I think the biggest issue with Disneyland and why there were so many things that went on that should have or could have been prevented is just the fact that they truly were not ready for that day. They should have waited, pushed it back longer, opened on a less busy season or day. They picked the peak day for the most people to come in. When you're taking on a project that big, and it's your first try at it, you should slowly progress into it and get into the swing of things rather than just jumping straight in head first, because there were really long bathroom lines, there were short on water fountains, just all sorts of things that, had they really gone through and checked thoroughly, could have been prevented or fixed. And even just having a little bit extra time would have helped solve the issue of things such as the asphalt being not fully solidified yet. So that's pretty much my spiel. Thank you so much for watching.